Hello, and welcome to Handled-ish, Productivity for the Imperfect, a weekly podcast for those who want to elevate their productivity but are not looking for perfection. I'm your host, Betsy Hayes, and I am really happy you're here. Whether it's in podcast land or on YouTube or on the KC24 CBS 47 Plus smart app, which you can download on your smart TV. This is episode 90, which feels really, really fun. 90 feels very significant and fabulous. As we're still a couple months away from the second birthday of the podcast, but I've already been thinking about some of the things I want to implement for the following year or for the next year, and I'm really excited about it. And to be honest with you, I don't know what I'm going to title this podcast. So whatever it's titled is obviously what I ended up with. Um, Today's my birthday. Today is my 56th birthday. I am recording this on October 12th. And it's actually almost literally my birthday because I was born on 10:39, and I think it's about 1:30ish. So it's very, very much the beginning of my 56th year. Um, and I wanted to share a couple of reflections because I think it might be fun to challenge yourself to do some of the things that I'm thinking about. I think you might enjoy that. So ever since I turned 50, I've been trying to really reflect more on my birthday and kind of how the year's gone. And it's just a really good personal marker. Obviously, January 1st is sort of a universal marker for the change of the year. But I think it's fun that our birthdays are like a personal marker of, the end of one year and the beginning of another. So I think it's a good time for reflection. And I was reflecting that last year I was hilarious on my birthday. And I had three things that I thought I wanted to do, and they were to have 55 coffees with people and to do this massive digital and physical purge and to have a day on my calendar that I didn't have anything scheduled. And two of the three of those just didn't happen. I do a lot of purging. I still have some digital purging I want to do, but that has been very satisfying and fabulous. I did have coffee with a lot of people, but it wasn't 55 and I didn't keep track. And that just, I think I've shared that with you about halfway through the year that I started in, and then it just wasn't fun. So I let it go. And then as far as having a day that there was nothing on my calendar, that ended up being comical because it wasn't something I wanted to do. And that isn't because I want to have a life that is so, scripted. There's no wiggle room, or every single minute of every single day has a plan. That's not it at all. I am a person who gets a lot of satisfaction and joy from having things on the calendar that I look forward to. And knowing that I have time to do all of the things that are important to me. And so that, takes planning and having things on the calendar. Even if, again, a better offer comes along, right? For one of my days or half days or even an hour. And then I got to pivot, and that's fun too, right? Then you take the puzzle pieces and you put the puzzle back together again in a different way. So I decided not to do that because upon further reflection, it didn't sound fun. So this year, I'm thinking about something completely different. And I'm thinking about trying to look at everything in my life through the lens of trying to be the most authentic version of myself and being unapologetically me. I know those are a little bit, buzzwordy, cliche-y. A lot of people are talking about being authentic. I think regardless of the fact that it's being used quite a bit, I think it's something that's really, really important, not only for us as people, but for organizations. And, I think that deception is bad, just sort of globally. So when you are authentic, clearly you're not being deceptive. So I love it. And being unapologetically me is also a little bit of a buzzword, but I love that phrase. I've never really used that as a lens for thinking about my life or my time or how I spend it. And so I thought that would be really, really fun this year. I want to, think about, okay, well, am I showing up authentically, right? Am I, making sure that I'm, using my voice and not shrinking or abandoning myself in any way in order to make other people feel more comfortable. I want to make sure that I'm speaking up when, I think there's something that isn't quite right or maybe needs to be looked at a little bit differently. I want to worry less, or at all would be lovely, about what people think about my choices. They're my choices, and if people like them, that's amazing. And if people don't, that's a little bit on them. I'm not saying that I'm not going to take anyone's feelings into consideration for this entire year. That's not what I'm saying. But I want to take my feelings into consideration a lot more, right? Like kind of on the front burner is sort of the vibe I'm looking at. What that looks like from a tangible perspective, I'm not sure because, again, it's just my birthday right now. I'm just starting. But I really like this idea. And I want to issue you a challenge to maybe think about that yourself, right? Do you feel that you are, your most authentic, unapologetic self? I think that when we are as close to that as we can, I think that's when all of our decisions on how to use our time just become so much more clear. I think it's just a whole lot easier to exist in the world because we're just being ourselves and we're not pretending to be something that either someone wants us to be or someone thinks we should be. We're just us. And as a result, right, not everybody's going to love that. And that is definitely a little asterisk that you have to put on this particular exercise, which, I always have to remind myself that I don't like everybody. So it is really silly to think that everyone is going to like me, right? That isn't even logical. And so that's something to remember that, authentic, unapologetically you and authentic, unapologetically me isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea. And you know what? That is okay. I read this thing and I just loved it. And it was talking about, if you're at a point in your life that you're not quite sure, like, what kind of things or, where your people are, right? Your tribe or whatever. It's talked about how you just should just do the things that you love. And then that's where you're going to find your tribe. And I think that really fits into this conversation that the more authentically you are, the more you will attract people that really value that person, that, love that person, that think, you're amazing, because they're really seeing the real you. So I think that's a really, really cool potential outcome and probable outcome, maybe even absolutely an outcome that will happen. So it's something that's worth pondering for sure. And the reason I'm bringing it up is twofold. It's my birthday, and that's what I've been thinking about. And secondly, I really do think that it has a lot to do with productivity and choices about what we really, really want to spend our time on and what truly is important to us and what is on our calendar because we think it should be. Like a person in our role should do that. I want you to think about whether the actual human that you are wants to do that. Because if that's not the case, then let's just like axe that puppy, right? Let's just not do it. I think there's a lot of pressure. Social media, of course, I love social, so I'm a mild hypocrite right now. I love it, but I also recognize how incredibly damaging it can be from like a comparison standpoint. I think a lot of people think, oh, well, all of those types of people, whether it's moms or parents or single people, married people, whatever, those people are doing this. So therefore, I think I should do this. And you may authentically want to do that, but I don't want us to do those type of things just because we think we should based on this really, really heavy dose of pressure and all of that from social media or for any media, right? Or anything that we consume. I just want us to think about that a little more and make decisions based on what is truly right for us I think this is actually a nice part three to the last couple of weeks where we made a not for me list and we made a yes for me list. And now it's a, you know what, we're just going to look at all the things and see whether the most authentic version of ourselves really wants to do that, or really wants to say that, or really wants to hang out with those people. Let's make decisions based on that and not those stupid shoulds that can really clutter up our calendar in a way that squeezes out some of the stuff that perhaps would be so much better to be on our calendar. So, yeah. So, happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to all my Libra brothers and sisters. I know that, yeah, being really, really obsessed with fairness is a struggle, but honestly, I think we help the world be a better place. So, hat tip to us. And have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous week. I look forward to visiting with you again on the next episode of Handled Ish Productivity for the Imperfect. Let me know what you think at Betsy Hayes on all the social, BetsyHays, my website, betsyahays.com. And remember, you are doing way better than you think you are. Trust me.